Yesterday, this real estate investor got on Fox News and slammed Jerome Powell, the chairman of the Federal Reserve, saying that he is the person most responsible for the housing crisis, which is a very, I think, incomplete theory.
Supposedly we have a housing crisis of too many homes or too few homes in this country. But in reality, what we have is a housing crisis caused by Jerome Powell. He has done more damage to the middle class and to housing in this country than any other single Fed.
I'm Daryl Fairweather, Redfin's chief economist, and let me explain. So, what happened this year is that we were forecasting that rates were going to drop. The Federal Reserve was going to cut rates because the problems of inflation left over from the pandemic were mostly resolving themselves. And if the Federal Reserve cut rates, that meant that mortgage rates would fall too, and that would make it cheaper for people buying a home to borrow money to buy that home. But that didn't happen. Interest rates stayed high. The Federal Reserve kept interest rates high. And they specifically said that it was because they were worried about inflation from economic policies such as the tariffs. The Fed is very careful about wording. They don't want to seem political, but basically they said that they would have cut interest rates if it weren't for the tariffs. So if you want to blame somebody for why it's so expensive to borrow to buy a home right now, you should probably blame the person that implemented those tariffs, our current presidential administration, to name names. Because the Federal Reserve is just doing their job. It's part of their dual mandate to keep inflation low and unemployment low. Unemployment is not so much a problem right now, but inflation could be a problem, especially with tariffs, because tariffs raise the prices of goods that are imported. And those increased prices, they hurt consumers. So the Fed really doesn't want prices to go up. We saw how painful that was for the economy before. And their main tool for fighting inflation is higher interest rates. Unfortunately, that makes it more expensive to borrow, whether it's borrowing to buy a home or borrowing to purchase a car or borrowing on your credit card. But you can't really blame the Fed for that. You can't blame Jerome Powell. That would be like blaming your doctor for giving you chemo treatment that makes you feel more sick when your doctor is really just trying to cure your cancer. Don't get mad at the Fed. They've really done a good job. Like, things could be so much worse in the economy. And I think those economists have really tried their best and executed well these last couple of years.